Oh, hell nah. Shakur Stevenson failed to make weight for his title defense against Robson Conceição. Let's talk about this one. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey, hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst. I'm gonna say it quickly as possible like the Micro Machine, man, every single time I start a video, so get used to it, family. Anyways, the big news, Shakur Stevenson failed to make weight for his fight with Robson Conceição. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Robson Conceição is going to be fighting for titles. You know what? Let me go back to the beginning of this. Okay. He got on the scales this morning, Shakur Stevenson, and was over the 130-pound super featherweight limit by 1.6 pounds. Now, normally what a fighter does in a situation like this, he steps off the scale, 1.6 pounds. He can put on a sauna suit. He can go for a run on a treadmill and really try to evaporate or dehydrate himself further and lose more weight. You can actually lose quite a bit of weight if you're doing it correctly, but clearly something was amiss with the nutritionist or whatever have you. And Shakur Stevenson weighed 1.6 pounds over with zero intentions. With zero intentions of trying to make weight. He missed the weight and immediately released a statement saying that my body can't handle it. My health is more important. And this is going to be my last fight at 130 pounds. After this fight, folks, Shakur Stevenson is no longer a super featherweight, which actually kind of works in his benefit because I didn't see anybody in the super featherweight division that was really going to stop him. I mean, you got all the killers at 135, and then what? At 126, maybe, you got guys like Emmanuel Navarrete who could potentially move up to 130, but that's no guarantee. I want to see Navarrete and Shakur because Navarrete is just an awkward dude, but we're not going to talk about Navarrete. The point right now is Shakur Stevenson missed weight. Now, for those of you who don't know what happens if you are a champion and you step on a scale and you miss weight, you get stripped of your belts. That's just how it works. Now, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson and him missing weight by 1.6 pounds and getting stripped of his belts, what makes it so fascinating is the boxing world's reaction. Now, where we don't let guys like David Benavidez and Gervonta Tank Davis live it down when they lose weight and they miss it on the scales, nobody cares if Shakur Stevenson missed weight essentially because everyone wants to see him at the 135-pound weight division anyways. So odd. But, yeah, Shakur Stevenson lost his titles on the weighing scale, and essentially what that means is that if he wins this fight against Robson Conceição, he does not win his championship belts back. But Robson Conceição has a chance to overturn the apple cart should he actually, as the long shot underdog, beat Shakur Stevenson. Robson Conceição could become the unified super featherweight champion and have 2 of the 4 belts in that 130-pound division. Will it happen? I don't know. Robson Conceição is a tough guy. His only loss, if I'm not mistaken, comes against Oscar Valdez. And Robson Conceição beat Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson in the amateurs, oddly enough. Robson Conceição himself was a 2016 gold medalist in the lightweight division in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, in his home country. So maybe there's a lot of different possibilities on what's going on here. Was Shakur not focused? Was Shakur not taking Robson Conceição serious? Did Shakur take Robson Conceição very serious because he remembers how it felt losing to him in the amateurs? And did he decide to come in heavy to give him some extra benefit in this fight? All these possibilities are stuff you have to examine. Ultimately, we don't know what happened. Take it at face value. Shakur Stevenson, just too damn big, can't get down to the 130-pound limit, despite the fact that he was getting well compensated for this fight. So, as far as I understood from the reports I was reading, Shakur Stevenson was scheduled to make $3 million for this fight with Robson Conceição. But when you miss weight, you've got to come to a financial agreement with the other fighter because the other fighter is now in a disadvantage. So Robson Conceição was promised $250,000 for this fight. He will now make over $300,000 for this fight, so at least $50,000 from Shakur's team, and $20,000 was paid to the boxing commission for this big misstep on the scales. But yes, Shakur Stevenson is no longer a champion. He's moving up to the 135-pound division, and it makes it very interesting. Like I repeated earlier, Shakur Stevenson, because he missed weight, is stripped of all of his belts in the 130-pound division. He said this is his last fight. He's moving up to 135. Nobody's mad at Shakur for missing weight like they were with David Benavidez and Gervonta Davis, because everyone is super excited about the idea of Shakur Stevenson fighting at 135 pounds in the lightweight division against guys like Devin Haney, Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia. The hypocrisy is through the roof. Welcome to boxing. Anyways, just wanted really quick to touch on that topic. Boxing world. What do you think? How do you know? Okay, how do I frame this question correctly? Shakur Stevens missed weight on the scale, got stripped of his belts, is still going through this fight with Robson Conceição. Do you think this 1.6 pounds adds to him or takes away? See that? I'm losing my language. I'm so excited about this situation, and I've been thinking about making this video all day. Now it's not even coming out. Okay. Shakur Stevenson missed weight for his fight with Robson Conceição and stripped of his belts. He came in 1.6 pounds overweight and has no intention of trying to lose that weight, so he's going to be fighting either at an advantage or a disadvantage boxing community. Is Shakur Stevenson missing weight for this fight with Robson Conceição an advantage or a disadvantage? What do you think? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this up. Now, let's move away from Shakur Stevenson, because either way, whether or not Shakur Stevenson had a problem cutting the weight and his weight cut went wrong, or he's overweight, I think Shakur Stevenson beats Robson Conceição. I'm of the mindset that nobody that boxes is going to outbox Shakur. And Robson Conceição is a boxer. I think you're going to need to be an educated pressure kind of brawler with puncher features in order to beat a guy like Shakur. And you got to make it ugly. Jose Luis Castillo, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Marcos Maidana type of style in order to beat a highly technical boxer like Shakur Stevenson. And I just don't think Robson Conceição is that dude. Now, on to the next big subject of the day. Demetrius Andrade. Boo-boo. This guy, look, this guy. You want payday? Boo-boo. I'm a fan of Demetrius Andrade, and if you've been following my content for any amount of time, you already know I rock with Demetrius Andrade. I'm in my comment section defending Demetrius Andrade, and sometimes it's hard to defend Demetrius Andrade. Such a talented guy, deep amateur pedigree, undefeated professional record. He has that slippery southpaw style. Lately, he's been sitting down in his punches more. In his last fight, he broke Scott Quigg's jaw, but in the grand scheme of things, who is Scott Quigg to your general American boxing fan? That's the problem. Demetrius Andrade vacated his 160-pound WBO strap, which was basically his main leveraging tool in contract negotiations. And some say he did that to avoid fighting Janibek Alamkanali as his mandatory. I'm not one who says that. I believe that he vacated that belt to move up to fight Zach Parker in a title eliminator to hopefully get him closer to a fight with Canelo Alvarez. That's what I think. But that's just me, because I like to paint a rosy picture of fighters. It's not for everyone. Some people like to look at the negative side and always see things from a pessimistic point of view. If you rock with me, you already know I give people the benefit of the doubt, because I just don't think in a negative space like that. If that's the kind of boxing content or sports analysis you want, there's plenty of people out there that do that, y'all, but that's not really my flavor. And that's not the way I deal with life. I don't go through life looking at the negative aspects, looking at everything screwball sideways. Good luck with that if that's your style. Now, so this morning, Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotions placed the only bid for the purse bid. This is like the second or third purse bid for that fight with Zach Parker, which is supposed to be a title eliminator to get a crack at Canelo Alvarez. Title eliminators, you gotta love that term, because you don't know whether or not these title eliminators are really gonna go down or not. But Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotions placed the minimum bid, $305,000. Oh Lord, how the mighty have fallen. The original purse bid that Frank Warren got with Queensberry was $1.8 million like a month or two back, but Demetrius Andrade pulled out of that with an injury. So the mighty have fallen. He went from a $1.8 million bid to a $305,000 bid. Like, that's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. So he's got this fight for $305,000. That doesn't mean, and I don't know what the split is, but it's something like 60-40, 70-30 in favor of Demetrius Andrade. Either way, even if it's a $305,000 total purse, that's paltry in comparison to the millions and the seven figures that Demetrius has been getting paid for his last few fights as a champion. Maybe he has been getting overpaid. Personally, I believe that these fighters should get as much money as possible. Fuck the system. Fuck these promoters. Get your goddamn money. Screw it. They're risking their life on the line for our entertainment, but $305,000 is the minimum purse bid. So, because now we know that Demetrius Andrade can fight a guy like Zach Parker in a purse bid for $305,000, Sampson, I think Leibowitz, I don't know how to pronounce Sampson's last name, he was on a talk on Twitter. If you don't know what those are like, you know, a bunch of boxing fans get together, industry insiders, and have these open forum conversations. And Sampson Leibowitz came in, and he is David Benavidez's manager. And now the lights come on, like, because we've heard these rumors in the past of David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade fighting. And I think in the past, during the contract negotiations between David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade might have priced himself out. Now we know that there's a lot more leeway as far as how they can price or probably lowball Demetrius Andrade. So now Sampson says that Team Benavidez is very interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade. And I really like his conversations in this direction. Y'all about to get some exclusive insider information here with this one. I was trying to secure an interview with Demetrius Andrade. In order to do that, I had to go through it. Y'all want to hear the story about this? I sent a DM to Demetrius Andrade on Twitter. He sends me his dad, Paul Andrade's number, and says, talk to my dad about scheduling it. Paul Andrade, God bless his heart, is Demetrius Andrade's trainer. He's such an odd dude to conversate with. Much like Demetrius Andrade, you see where he gets it from. He gets it from his father, Paul. Anyways, I spent weeks trying to get Paul to get me an interview with Demetrius. I'm on the phone talking to Paul. God bless Paul's heart. He's such a cool dude. But Paul was mentioning that the next fight Demetrius Andrade is going to have is with David Benavidez. And this was a few months back. I didn't give much credence to it because you always hear, oh, they're going to fight this person. You're going to fight that person. So I didn't think much of it. I was like, Paul's just an interesting dude who likes to say cool shit. Turns out, Sampson and Team Benavidez is now very interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade. And I like that fight. I like the fight between Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez a lot more than I like the fight with Zach Parker and Demetrius Andrade. Now, don't get it twisted. I like Zach Parker. He's an undefeated heavy hitter from the UK. He's got his little fan base out there. But we want to see David Benavidez fight somebody other than Kyron Davis and Ronald Ellis and David Lemieux. Like, we want to see these guys in quality fights. These 160 guys, 168, 160 guys, the Demetrius Andrades, the Jaime Munguias, the Jamal Charlos, the David Benavidez's of the world need to fight each other. God damn it. I'm tired of seeing them fight journeymen. And I'm tired of their obsessive fan bases demanding that Canelo stop ducking. Like, y'all, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You got to earn the fight. You got to make yourself a marketable entity, build up a following, sell some pay-per-views, and then you come to Canelo, or Canelo decides that you have something that he wants. And so far, they haven't aligned with his belief system, and fuck it, whatever Canelo wants to do, let him do. We were like that with Mayweather. We were like that with De La Hoya. If you're the face of boxing, you do whatever the hell you want. Get over it. Stop playing cards. Stop playing favorites here, y'all. Canelo's the face of boxing. He don't want to fight Benavidez until Benavidez does something worthwhile with his career, his clout. Fuck it, so be it. But I want to see Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez go at it. So a quick summary and a recap. Demetrius Andrade, a.k.a. Boo Boo. This guy, look, this guy. Y'all know Boo Boo. Anyways, Frank Warner Queensberry Promotion secured the fight for Demetrius Andrade and Zach Parker for a purse bid minimum of $305,000. That doesn't mean that's what they're going to get paid. That's what the purse bid for the fight was secured for. Now, because of that, Sampson Leibowitz, who is David Benavidez's manager, says, oh, now they're interested in trying to get a fight between David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade because now they know they can lowball Demetrius Andrade and he won't try to overbid himself for the fight. Boxing community, what do you think about a potential fight between David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this up. Now, all things considered, as far as I know, we've got a fight between Demetrius Andrade and Zach Parker. I still favor Demetrius Andrade, even though he's not at the peak of his mobility in his career. He's like in his early 30s right now. He looked really good against Scott Quigg. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about, y'all, in this quick video. Drop a comment, hit that like button, hit follow if you haven't already done so. This is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on social media.